the biggest thing and the first thing I come out with is obviously don't borrow anything, because if you borrow something, you've got to give double back. And so you could land on a wing and someone say, oh, yeah, here's a shower gel. You're straight away in that person's pocket, and you don't want to be in anyone's fucking pocket, especially not in prison. So I would say don't borrow anything. The amount of people that go to prison and just their heads just explode because they can't handle it. Because even big guys, small guys, anyone that says that prison hasn't affected them or brought them to the knees at some point, right, is a fucking liar. Because prison fucks with your head. It gets you down. It affects it can affect family ties and stuff like that. Relationships, the amount of relationships I've seen broke down and stuff. So don't spice. Spice is a synthetic cannabis, which is causing, I don't know if it's hit the States.
Oh yeah, it's flooded. T-Bone's been sending me letters saying Arizona guys are doing spice, wigging out, getting paranoid, falling downstairs, getting in fights, attacking staff.
Yeah. What that drug is doing in the UK prison system is it's cheaper than other mainstream drugs. It's more potent. It's highly addictive. There was a kid that was opposite me in Forest Bank, right, Tony, and he was a heroin addict. And he's come to the pad and that. And I walked to his pad and I'm seeing it. I walked in his cell. He's got some tinfoil and he's playing Chase the Dragon and stuff, taking heroin. And I said, "What are you doing, man?" And then a few weeks later, and I said, "He's spiced out of his, like spiced, we call it a spice head." He was under the influence of spice. I said, "Tom, what are you doing, man?" I did, not whilst he was under the influence. I saw him the next day. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "I tried the spice to wean myself off the heroin. I'm now addicted to spice." But it's you're getting less drug for your money but it's more potent.
And it doesn't show up in the P test.
No, it does now.
Oh, does it?
Do you know what? That is a misconception. Yeah, what it was in the January of 2017, I was drugs tested. I was a cleaner, so I was like, you can get drugs tested for many different reasons: mandatory, reasonable suspicion, voluntary drugs testing. And because I was a cleaner, I was in a position of trust. Our red badge, our senior officer, as we called him, like a supervisor, if you will, he just said, he was a Spanish guy, called him Loco, man. He was Souza. He was a crazy guy, Spanish guy. He's like, "Everyone, go to the MDT, all of you guys." So we all went down to MDT and stuff. People are watering up. There's a if you water up and you take loads of water, that you'll flood it out your system and stuff. Some drugs stay in your system for days, some can stay in for longer. Spice, everyone was like, no, it's sweet, like new psychoactive substances. That's what spice is known as. They don't show up. Well, there was a kid that was a cleaner and he only takes spice. Derek, a friend of mine, I met him on the out, and he pissed positive, and it came back as a strain of cannabinoids like ST4321, C4. He'd only smoked spice, right? He got sacked. He got put on basic, he got sent down to the main. Another kid called Danny Clayton, he pissed positive as well. He was on every drug he could get his fucking hand on. He ended up, the screws stitched him, though. The screws didn't like him. He stole from one of the other lads. One of the cleaners was selling spice. Give it to a spice head to look after. Surprise, surprise, the drug fucking vanished because he smoked it. The screws didn't like this particular Danny kid. He got sent to A1. Now, A1 was the wing, but it's where all the young offenders were. And put it like this, he ended up on own protection, locked behind his door, get out, he's under a DNU, out for half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. I've seen there's kids setting cell fires, kids, what it does to people, them drugs, just stay away from the drugs, because if you start taking drugs, your body will want more drugs than you can pay for, because it's an expensive fucking habit. Not everyone's got a mountain of money. You can actually put your family in a predicament then as well, where you've got dealers ringing your mum and dad off fucking private numbers. You better put that money in, I'll stab him now, I'll set him on fire, I'll kill him. And like I say, but if you start to take one hit of the drug, it'll snowball. And then what they're doing is, obviously when you were selling and stuff like that, your body builds up a tolerance to the drug, and you've got to take more to try and chase that high. And that's where you're at risk of overdosing as well. The amount of prisoners that left prison, 325 prisoners in the UK left prison last year in a body bag. 92 of them was self-inflicted. They also declassify a lot of deaths as well, so that they don't put it into a bracket. Like, I think new psychoactive substances, so drugs like spice, for example, they've attributed to over 90 deaths in the past couple of years alone. I've got videos on my channel, guys, of prisoners under the influence of spice. And what it does to people is just stay away from drugs. If you're going into prison, firstly, don't go to prison. But for those that are going to end up in prison, you can watch all the films and documentaries you want until you land on that wing. No amount of TV or films or Shawshank Redemption or any sort of that shit, even though Shawshank was obviously in America, is not going to prepare you for what prison is. But listening to obviously Sean's podcast and Sean's guests and stuff, you'll see that, yeah.
So you've got videos on your channel of people under the influence of spice, prisoners.
Yeah, prisoners.
Acting crazy.
Yeah, throwing up. There was a kid and he's throwing up pink vial. And one of the prisoners actually, like a lot of prisoners just stand there and they'll video it and stuff and put it on social media. I never really understand prisoners that film criminal acts, because obviously it's illegal to have drugs and take drugs in prison. And it's obviously illegal to have a mobile phone in prison. And then the filming stuff, they show the face and then they put it on fucking Instagram with a hashtag HMP, which is Her Majesty's Prison, or jail life or prison life. And then they're wondering why people are getting spun and fucking drugs tested and stuff like that. But yeah, the amount of videos I've got on there, there's quite a lot. Prison violence, spice. There's one where it's just like, this is why you don't take spice.
Perhaps we'll see if we can add one of those to this podcast.
Do you know what? I'll send you 40,000,000%, man.
So, all right, on prison survival then, so far you've said don't get into debt. Yeah. Don't get on the drugs, especially spice. Yeah. What other advice are you going to give to a young person to survive Manchester prison? In strange ways. Yeah. Like I say, you've got to... people often say, like, people contact you and they say, right, there's a chance that I could, like... Because obviously, if you're 18 to 21, you won't end up in strange ways because young offender, you will not go to strange ways. But if someone drops it on your toes as well, you've got to fight. Like, you can't... People's, yeah, but I'm not a fighter. Well, it's like, well... The worst that's going to happen if you do fight, you're going to get your ass kicked. But if you don't fight, you're going to get your ass kicked anyway. So is it like America? Like in America, if someone calls you a punk or a bitch, you have to fight them on the spot. Otherwise, your whole race attacks you. It's like I say, we're alpha and we're males and stuff. And if you are the weaker members of that prison population or of that wing, you're going to become a bitch. And like I say, people will bully you, they'll take stuff off you, they'll walk in your cell and open and say, if you can't respect yourself, how are they going to respect you? Do you know what I mean? And respect is earned in prison, it's not given. So someone coming in, how could they not project weakness? I think it's hard to say to someone unless you're like, you've got it about you. You can't, unless you're front, like, fake it till you make it sort of thing. Yeah. But if you're bouncing around the wing and you think you're cocking a walk and stuff, that can obviously draw attention. I mean, I'm a big lad now. Size doesn't count for fuck all in prison, as you know. Because I've seen a kid, he put, at Forest Bank, you get flasks, right? Because they don't have a thing in your cell. He put his hand, somehow got his fucking hand into the end of a fucking flask, metal flask, ran down the wing and fucking ran down and just pretty much smashed this guy upside the head. And he was a bigger guy, and I'm looking, thinking, he's seen him. They've obviously got beef, right? But size can actually make you a target as well. But if you land in a prison, right, don't take drugs, fucking don't steal anything. Fuck me, do not steal. Do not steal. Do not fucking grass. Do not grass. Do not, there's a thing called sweet grassing. Say snitching. Sweet snitching. That sweet snitching, people think, what's that? Say you're on the landing and you've got a problem with that lad. Right, but your arse is going a bit, and you say, "Listen, yeah, I'll fight you," and you do it so the screws hear you, so they intercept it and shit. Yeah, so it's like, what was that? You know what I mean? Sweet, we call it sweet grassing, sweet snitching. But yeah, don't grass, don't fucking steal, stay away from drugs at all fucking costs. What about interacting with the guards? What level of that is allowed? Because if you start chatting to the guards where I was housed, they're going to look at you as a snitch then. Yeah. The relationship with the screws should be speak to them when you need to speak to them. Or boss, can I need to get a razor out of the fucking like store cupboard or something like that. Don't be over friendly with them. But sometimes, if it's obviously different prison officers got different mentalities. Now, there's two types of officers in the UK. You've got HMP or Her Majesty's Prison Service, public sector prison guards. Normally, quite unapproachable, professional. Not all of them. You do get your exceptions, but they swap the personality for a set of keys and some fucking epaulets, right? For the most part. That's in my experience. Mr. Leg at Strange Ways was spot on though, and Miss Coombs. At Forest Bank, private prison, that's a private prison, and the guards are from the estates where you fucking lived. And they're more approachable for the most part. You do get your jobs with cunts, like, that are all about the job. They take the job too serious.
But if you're over friendly with a prison officer, there could be two reasons for that. One, you're grassing, or two, because you're actually trying to get them to bring some contraband in, drugs, mobile phones, SIM cards, tobacco. But the thing is, prisoners don't see the interaction. They could be watching thinking, he spends a lot. Prisoners watch everything. They're very, very paranoid as well. We're quite paranoid people anyway because we're criminals. Not everyone's guilty, but we're quite paranoid criminally wise, and we're quite thinking. So if you see someone that's being over friendly, if he's my pad mate and he's down there, I'm thinking, what's he saying? Is he trying to shit me? Like when I was in Strangeways on that first sentence, obviously when you're on remand, you are told, do not discuss your case with fucking anybody. And the reason is because I know it sounds paranoid and crazy, but they plant people to actually extort information, because you let your guard down. If it was a prison officer, you say, yeah, fuck off, or a copper. But when it's a pad mate, you think, oh, well, we're mates. He's lent off me, I've lent off him, we're mates. And you can let your guard down, and then next minute you get fucking shocked. So I wouldn't discuss it with him. And I think that Connell, as much as I got on with him, I genuinely think he was planted, because he said to me, they never keep, I'm normally a single cell prisoner. Single cell means high risk. And then they're padding me up with a kid, and I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on? So, and he kept asking me about my case. So I'm more paranoid then. Even when I was with Dominic, right, and people can troll me all they want with this, me and Dominic wouldn't talk about our charges in his cell or my cell. He was like a high risk prisoner. He was very well known. So we go into the showers. I mean, we weren't wanking each other off as fucking like trolls will say and stuff like that. But like, yeah, we used to, because obviously if let's say there's a bug in the shower, any condensation and stuff's going to get into that bug and it won't work. So yeah, we should talk in the shower us. But yeah, so don't take drugs, don't snitch, don't grass, don't get too over friendly with the officers, because like I say, prisoners will get paranoid and think you're fucking up to something. Stay away from drugs at all costs, because if you start taking a bit of weed on sick, then it snowballs. They give you more drug, and then next minute these, I don't know why, but stupid amounts of prisoners that have never touched spice before end up taking it, and it hooks them. It's so fucking fast. And the decline, you'll lose your relationship. You can fuck up your family connections. I've seen families walk away from prisoners. I've seen prisoners' heads fall off, heads fucked, because their family have said, you're on the drugs, it's debt, it's trouble to me door, I'm not having this. And they've walked away, their relationships have broke down, all because of taking I had a few drags on a spliff of spice, and it hooks them. Mental health's a huge problem. I actually do a video on my channel telling people how to get a single cell in prison. Act a bit crazy and stuff, not too crazy, you don't want to get fucking sectioned, but playing the role, because I didn't want to share my space after that. I played the role after that, so I get my own single cell so I could watch what I wanted on TV.
There's nothing like a single cell, is it?
No, fuck man. I could watch what I wanted to watch. I could do what I wanted. But the thing is, like, the violence and stuff in prison is obviously a big, big thing, as you cover and stuff on your channel. And like I say, it's just, trouble can flare for the most.
So when you say about getting a single cell acting crazy, then did you do that? Did you
on my second and third? Yeah. I did.
How crazy did you act?
Right. When I was wound up. I wanted to kill my solicitor anyway, because my solicitor was like, he's like, look, you're not going to prison. I had tea with a judge 2 weeks ago. She was at my house. And I'm thinking, that's great for you. But I always say to him, my barrister's a very good barrister, until he fucks up and end up in prison, and then I'm fucking hate him. But I say, Bob, you're not paid for your opinions, mate. When it comes to court situations and stuff, I always prepare for the worst situation. And then if the worst happens, I am prepared. I'm not going into court thinking I've got no bag because I'm walking home. I'm going home. I literally pack everything. I prepare everything and stuff. But when I landed at the jail, I was very wound up. And then this was for threatening my sister's ex-boyfriend. He beat her up. Was a bully behind doors, grew beer muscles and all that, thinking he was Popeye. And then he beat my sister up, harassed her for 2 weeks, and then break the windows. My mum told her not to tell me because of what I would have done to him, just like anyone would have done. That's not a big hard man. Anyone would protect the family. My sister's like an alcoholic bipolar. You know what I mean? She picks dickheads. Anyway, fucking end up at fucking court. She said, you said it's all right. Pre-sentence report. Oh, we can work with him, anger management, blah, blah, blah. Supervision order, community service. Judge didn't fuck off. Send him to prison. Stupid, but it happened. And then when I've landed at the jail and stuff, and I'm being on intake and stuff, or being processed as we call it in the UK, I'm sat there with a nurse and stuff, right? And I'm pacing up and down. I'm like, as soon as you put me in that cell, I'm going to fucking shank whoever it is up. I'm going to watch. Look at the size of me. I'm going to go fucking mad. And I'm sat there and I'm saying, yeah, my mental health. I'm sat in the corner like, don't speak to me. And there's no one even speaking to me. Do you know what though? The reason I did it was because
like I said, I didn't want to get put in a cell with a grot or a tramp. Do you know what I mean? If you live, there's a lot of kids in prison that live dirty. Like, there's a lot of kids that are very, very, very clean. But I was just like, you know what? I want my own cell. If you get high risk, it's classed as high risk. Like, you could be racially high. So if you, like, there was a kid that I was a cleaner actually on my stretch and stuff, and he was racially high. Let's put it like this: when he had a shower, he had 2 Nazi German stormtroopers on his back, proper skinhead. You know what I mean? Out and out skinhead. You know what I mean? Hated everyone and everyone. He even ate us, and we was white, so I don't know what his issue was. But he got done on terrorism charges actually recently, and he was in a HMP Ewell, Irish Republicanism. Got caught with like manuals for terrorism and stuff, and component parts could be used in the like making of things. But yeah, I acted crazy. I just acted crazy. I was just literally pacing up and down and stuff, and I'm like, grabbing my head, I'm saying, "Fucking don't speak to me." Yeah, just kick off, just fucking stab them all. And then they put me forward to the doctor, and then when they put me on the wing, and I said, "They get high risk," and she said, "Yeah," I thought, "I'll have that." So they got me up onto the wing. High risk, I said, and then he tried to put me in my pad, and I said, I'm not locking up until I got a fucking TV. I said, I'm not on basic. I said, give me a TV, and I said, lock up. But like I say, prison is, unless you've been in prison and stuff, like people thinking like not losing your liberty, it's like they can't relate to it. If they've never lost your liberty, people can't relate to it. Prisoners' families can, because if you support somebody in prison, you're actually strapped in front seat, and you're on that roller coaster that is off the scale and stuff. And like I say, the thing is though, the violence, the depression, I personally believe that mental health, if you haven't already got mental health issues, and a lot of prisoners have, diagnosed or undiagnosed, it actually starts because we're social people, social creatures, and being locked up for sustained amounts of time. Yeah. And like I say, I've on my last stretch there, the kid, Darren Rawlinson, God bless his soul, he died of a drug overdose on a drug-free wing, which tells you everything you need to know about the UK prison system. There's more drugs on a drug-free wing, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel if you're a dealer. If you go onto the thing and say, oh yeah, I was an alcoholic and stuff, get onto that detox wing, and you've got a load of fucking, in the urinal cavity or the prison pocket, I don't know if that's prison wallet, prison pocket.
Keister ring, we call it in Arizona.
Keister? Keister ring?
No, just keistering is like the verb.
Yeah.
To keister, it's to store it in your ass.
All right, or prison pocket, prison wallet, UK, US translation there. But yeah, and he died of a drug overdose on a drug-free wing. There was another kid, Jordan Hyam, young lad, 20-year-old, at Forest Bank, took spice for the first time, in on a short sentence. Guy died, was brought back to life. His mum and dad put a thing in a local paper. Kid's got tubes hanging out of him left, right and centre. The kid's mentally handicapped now. Tried the drug, man. This is the thing. Prisoners, the amount of prisoners leaving prison in body bags, and like I say, whether it be the amount, what's going on in the UK prison system is fucked. And like I say, people go there to be rehabilitated. The fact is, they go there broken and they leave in pieces.
Were there any deadly fights while you were in there, or any fights that a lot of damage was caused?
I've seen